Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33, teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning everyone. It is the 20th of February 2023. If you are listening to this on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're on the app or on Spotify, please also share, tag me, let people know when you're meditating, listening to these lessons. Really helps me to grow this platform and put more resources up here for you. So last week it was Valentine's Day, and I know that especially here in New Zealand, in the North Island, people are going through a lot. I'm very grateful that we are fine where we are. We had very minor issues, but for my clients that are in the areas that have been affected, I am thinking about you. And I know that Karen has had to reschedule quite a few of you that have had internet issues and all of that. So really thinking about all of you and sending positive energy. But remember, those of you who are on the spiritual journey, this will be happening to you and for you for some bigger reason. And that's where you've got to try and apply the Monday mantras to see how you can progress your soul while living out whatever it is that you're living out in your life. So last week, the energy was, I will express my inner calling with love and I will act on it. So nurturing what we want to grow, focused on your relationship energy. Those of you who are going through a lot, remember it all comes back to relationships in the end. Whether you're single or not, this is an area where people want growth, they want expansion, they want connection, taking a risk in love. And especially when you go through something, it usually makes people shut down. But what the spiritual energy is actually asking of you is to take bigger risks, because you realize how fragile life is. It's like, what am I waiting for? I may as well just say how I feel or do what I need to do. So following what your inner calling is, but you needed to know what your inner calling is. So if you've been protecting yourself somehow, needing to express them, like I found myself having to express myself. I wrote a very long letter to my partner, all of those things to really express myself in a way which was thought out and purposeful. So regardless of what's going on in your life, it's all asking you to express yourself through creativity, through your words, through breaking through any limitations where your imagination can take you to what's possible. Sometimes when you're in that position of starting again, that is because you are actually meant to do things differently this time, acting with the flow of life, with a heart full of love, not going into what most people do, which is fear, anger, frustration. And when those feelings come up, heal them immediately so they don't accumulate. Because remember, last week we were talking about the accumulation of things. I was talking in the positive form, but accumulation, as we know through the work that I do and share with you, we can accumulate things that are not so beneficial for us, which has then creates the obstacles for us to be able to flow through life without having resistance. So as we move through the rest of the week, the Soul Progression Oracle card that I picked for you last Wednesday, New Zealand time, was Soul Progression. And I was not surprised that this card came up, because we are being asked to express ourselves from a place of love. Are you afraid to ask for something? What would it look like if you took the fear out of it and just said it? Letting go of the outcome and know that love will see the message get through. There is a lot going on in the world at the moment. Everyone's lives, Turkey, all of the other places, all the things that we're hearing about in the world, natural disasters, shaking up homes, the feelings of wanting physical safety. It's really hard to see past the fear sometimes. And this is why your inner calling, our inner calling, is really speaking to you, telling you what and who is most important. And sometimes losing something helps you find perspective and your inner calling. You do not need to experience loss yourself, because we are all connected. And if one person loses, we all do. So can you see how important it is to be vulnerable and move forward with love, not with fear, not with anger, not with resentment? And sometimes I also feel, from a spiritual perspective, when we lose material things, it is to help us release our attachment to the material things. So when challenging things happen, people can shut down, be angry and fearful. The soul progression is in the path of love. Whatever you need to express, say, do it, and act on it, and know that you are spiritually evolving because of what you are doing. Love is what feeds your soul, and in your darkest hour, it is in love, and the loving expression is the support that we all look for. The expression of love comes in many forms: physical, emotional, spiritual, and energetic. And when they all align, our vibration syncs with the flow of life. Like musical notes. So, those of you who play music, when you look at musical notes on a piece of paper, they're nothing, but they come together in chords and phrases when they're actually played by the instrument. You are the instrument. We are all the instruments working with all elements available within consciousness to act in accordance with who we really are. Even when all our notes are played in accordance with our spirit, things in life happen for our experiences and evolution. But ultimately, it all comes back to the place of love. This is what people always forget when shitty things happen in life. It's like, oh, I'm not going to trust in anything anymore. Our life is beyond the body, and the true magic happens when the other realms to support us in our instrument, the body. I have noticed over the last week when I worked with clients with healing and guidance provided, it all came back to everyone's highest expression, which is the loving expression. So when our sexual creative energy, now this is not about sex in itself, it can be, but when our sexual creative energy is depleted or numb, it becomes stagnant in the creation of all things loving. So this is when we go to the root chakra, for females, the womb area. And it's awakening this sexual energy so that we can create life, and literally, or creating all the things that we want. And because we have the new moon energy in this beginning part of the week, it was the night of Lord Shiva on Saturday night, and it was a night of awakening. Like, I was feeling a lot of spiritual things going on, and coming back to how have you expressed love this week, because something has awakened in you to be braver, to ask for what you need and what you want. Remember, I am here for you. If you need an emergency session, you need to renew your app membership, you want to become an app member, it's only $60 a year to access all the meditations, the Soul Progression Oracle, the lunar calendar. Everything that I put on here is only for $60 per year. And personalized meditations, I love doing those. They're highly, highly powerful. I tune into you and what you need, which you can heal yourself in your own time. I infuse my energy into them, so you're having an energy shift, having these reminders to help you get through the things that you need to progress your soul. There are mini readings for app members, Soul Magics. Email Karen if you need any help at all, soul33@gmail.com. Okay, this week's Monday mantra. My pace is set by my intention and motivation. It's not a race. My pace is set by my intention and motivation. It's not a race. Dreams can come true. And I realize that not everyone's lives will be a dream right now, but more of getting back to the basics. But we are all at different stages in our soul progression, and we can make the most of where we are at, because this is where people get confused about how can we manifest if we're in the slums of India or wherever. Everyone's at different stages. So some people will not have access to that information of what it means to manifest because, 10 lifetimes ago, we all would have had these experiences that have got us to where we are now. So with the energy of this new moon and the Piscean energy at the moment, we can start where we are at, and we can really fantasize about the visions we have and how we would feel if we have them, because it is our feeling that helps us vibrate to receive. And this is using ourselves as the instrument to act physically, but my mother's a pianist, she's a piano teacher, and so when she plays the chords, the keys inside the piano are moving. There's a vibration that happens, and that's the vibration that happens inside us too. So this week, Dream as big as you want. Intend it to be true, especially in areas of your life where you may be feeling a bit insecure. So wherever it's insecurity, even if it's again going back to the basics of I'm really fearful that I'm not going to be able to move forward because my house has been destroyed in the cyclone. And I know these are really, really difficult challenges to make sense of, but they are there for a reason. And so we want to look at the insecurities that we have and not focusing on the insecurities, but turning it and reversing the insecurity into an intention and a motivation of where the dream can go if that insecurity wasn't there. We are future planning this week. So, what progress do you need to make before March? So, you may have things happening in the next 2 months which require some coordination, planning, a little bit of upheaval over the next couple of months, things happening that you weren't expecting. Because energetically, March is a month to really observe. I was picking up March last year knowing that it was going to be a big month. Now, that doesn't mean that we all have to sit and wait for things to happen. It's more observing with curiosity. Like, I know a lot of what's going on in my life in March, and they're quite big things. They're things that I haven't done before. They're things that are requiring some healing from me before I face those things. And I'll talk you through it as we have the Monday mantras, but they're big things coming together. Even though if it feels like it's falling apart and causing insecurity in your life in some way, use it as motivation. So what progress do you need to make before March? Because energetically, March is going to be a time of observing what's happening in our personal lives and globally. So get things in motion now. Life isn't a race. Sure, having some urgency is good, but you are thinking about long term, the accumulation, sustainable results that you can receive over a period of time, not quick manifestation unless it is meant to go that way. And what I mean is that if you are working towards something and it's slow, then that's the pace that you're needing to go. Something's asking you to look at other things. And if something's moving quickly, then you know that the universe is going, this is the area that you'll need to focus on right now for quick manifestation. You will know by how life is flowing and in which direction that your intention and motivation to work towards. So some things need to be in order of the divine and not what you think. Like sometimes, I've been working on one thing and then something else completely the other side of it pops up and I'm like, this is so interesting because this is happening when I have a big gap in my diary and I'm like, okay, so obviously it's meant to go that way. There was a manifestation of something that's been brewing for ages, but suddenly it's come through. So you'll notice a bit of those breakthrough type of energies coming in, like been waiting for something for ages, but that it's either going to be happening really quickly and suddenly, even though you've been working on it, or you're going to be put in a different direction and go, no, actually, this is where you need to focus on right now. It's also a highly emotional time. I'm also healing as I'm helping facilitate your healing. So some will be afraid of what is next, but if you are at the beginning, please remember obstacles are starting to shift. Being at the beginning, this is the place to dream. This is the place to intend. This is the place to motivate yourself to be like, I'm being asked to live differently. I'm being asked to not be so attached to my stuff. Where have you been emotionally overextending yourself to? Really important question for this week. So as you go along, ask yourself that question. You do not need to push things so hard. Instead, whatever you are faced with this week, trust that the pace you are going is the perfect pace for the transformation you are wanting. So life is not a race to be won. Instead, every step you make is triumphant and deserves celebration. Okay, really remember that. Like I spent a lot of time this weekend cafeing. I don't do that very often, but just sitting for a couple of hours, drinking my tea, discussing things about the future. So I knew by me doing that, it is because that energy is shifting to be like the dream energy. What could it look like? This month, this past month of February, there's been a lot of direction. We've been put in these directions, whether we led ourselves there consciously or unconsciously through experiences that our soul has to go through in order to progress. And it has been a month of going after what you want and what you need and breaking your limitation. Now, when I say those words, you need to move above the physical, because some people will be like, how can you say this when people are going through turmoil? But remember, it is your soul that is experiencing things in order for you to break your physical limitations, in order for you to find direction in how you're going to lead yourself now, because you're leading yourself where you want to go. So remember that I am here for you. There are different ways to connect with me. If you don't want to be on the wait list and you haven't seen me yet, please ask Kieran about Ascension Seekers. Please get your personalized meditations. Really focus on your healing in this lifetime so that we can stop repeating unhealthy patterns and move with flow in life and not be attached to so many things, but looking for that expansion and understanding of why things are occurring the way that they are. I'm here for you. I wish you the most amazing week, because I want you to set your pace through your intention and your motivation, and remembering it's not a race, because your soul is eternal. But yes, we have this physical journey that we're also trying to understand at the same time. Have a great week. Do your homework. Add in the other meditations that resonate with you. You will have more uploads in the sexual trauma section, which is a really important one to start investigating, because we will all have it through lifetimes before, through our generational, ancestral trauma, all of that. And you will have a new upload in the first week of March. Remember, I am here for you. If you need an emergency session, you need to renew your app membership, you want to become an app member, it's only $60 a year to access all the meditations, the Soul Progression Oracle, the lunar calendar. Everything that I put on here is only for $60 per year. Email Kieran if you need any help at all, soul33@gmail.com. I will be in touch very soon. Wishing you a wonderful week. Bye.